pretty obvious. We've got some big issues with climate change and infrastructure, even before we look at housing.
Because I think that's actually what we need here. This is very much a collective journey. The white paper has set out a complex number of strands that has several parts to it. We don't have to wait for the legislation before we start acting.
I'm about to, but if you look at the main screen, I'm static, haven't I?
No, not to me, you're not. You're moving.
You're fine, Aston.
Pardon? Okay, shall I begin, yeah?
Good morning everyone, great to see you all. But we're here promoting fairness, accountability and transparency, and that's something, I think, accountability and transparency are things which I'll talk about in a moment, but they're, big things which we've been looking at over the last few months, and fairness is obviously at the heart of everything we do. Unlike many ombudsmen, we do quite a lot of work on complaints before they reach our formal investigation, and unlike other ombudsmen as well, our orders are binding, bringing people together, bringing residents together, hearing about their experiences, listening to them, really listening to them. Transparency, accountability and fairness, those two words which I mentioned at the start, big focus for this calendar year, set expectations of what good looks like.
Hi everybody. So I think as a sector, we have traditionally set up these forums, panels and expected residents to come forward and populate them. So I think it is about listening and really asking residents what they want and what they need in terms of that engagement. So in terms of our commitments, we really want to ensure residents that their homes are safe, provide clear and transparent information on the programmes we're setting, and we also need to increase resident and staff understanding of the national picture.
So I've been involved in the business for the last 18 months. I could see that things within my own estate needed changing. I get heavily involved in service reviews. So when I set out in the role, it was kind of a blank piece of paper. And from that, we recruited and built a customer voice panel. I'm already in the neighbourhoods as such. I've grown up in the neighbourhoods, and I think that has been such a massive benefit.
Are we ready to start again?
And we want to build strong, trusting relationships with our residents and ensure that their needs are driving what we want to do. At Anchor Hanover, we recognise that building trust takes time and effort and commitment. Our residents' relationships with us are primarily with the people who serve them locally. I think that trust is built when you do what you say you're going to do.
Being connected to what our organisation does, having the understanding of how we are all connected to our strategic objective is something I think is very, very important. We do a lot of internal engagement at Network Homes, being able to find ways to open the lines of communication and be creative. We try to make sure that we are always reconnecting people to why they're there and that it's not just their day job, that we are impacting people within their homes.
This has got to be the longest annual conference since the 20th Congress of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union.
What I'd like to talk about is a bit about what we're required to do in the consumer regulation space. The white paper was published back in November, and Chapter 4 relates to regulation. There are 803 words in Chapter 4 that are in bold that are things that the government says that it will do. I don't expect you to be able to read that. You can find them all in the white paper if you choose to go and look at it. But essentially, what the white paper asks us to do is to create a proactive consumer regulation function. And to do this, we'll be looking at what we can learn from our existing approach to consumer regulation, our existing consumer casework, because it's not that consumer regulation doesn't happen at the moment, it just doesn't happen in a proactive way, it only happens reactively.
So I've been thinking how to use my time with you, fresh from
self-serve IT and HR inductions, because I am on day 9, I think, working day. Number 1, if you involve tenants properly and meaningfully, it will improve services. Secondly, and I heard this, somebody said it in the last session, it will decrease cost. And thirdly, it will improve satisfaction. So I am a massive advocate of good tenant engagement. Now, another caveat, and Will's outlined that this is going to take a couple of years. We're waiting around on some legislation, but it's also going to take a couple of years to design and implement.
We are very much on a learning curve in this space, and hence it's really good to be here and start to learn and understand more from yourselves. We anticipate that the bill will take somewhere between 9 and 12 months to go through its parliamentary processes. So basically the Building Safety Regulator as proposed will have 3 key functions. The first of that is to deliver the more stringent regulatory regime for buildings in scope. The second key function that we will have is a requirement on us to promote competence within the sector. Okay, and key obviously to all of this is how we engage with residents, and a key objective that we've been set is about putting residents at the heart of this new regime and how we develop and operate it.
When they get back to the ranch, I've got to work ever so hard on resident engagement and improving services. We cannot wait for the government to catch up. So thanks for your attendance, thanks for your enthusiasm, and it's over to you.